Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Shatashmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Shatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha-bhagavat Srila Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupa Anugauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath. Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari. Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Go. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams, Satya Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Champak Mataji, and let's see, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and whoever else that is watching on YouTube or Facebook. Dandavat Pranams to all of you. So now I'm beginning, well, first we'll do a Mahaprabhu Kirtan. If anybody has any suggestions, let me know now. Otherwise, I'll pick something myself. Sharing my screen. Okay. So. How about... Well, yesterday we did Haha Kabe Gora Nitai. Maybe now today we can do Haha Mor Gora Kishore. That's kind of in the same kind of feel to it. I mean, very similar song by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But first, I'll see if anybody had any other requests. And then, doesn't look like it. Alright, cool. Haha Mor Gora Kishore. Oh, my youthful Gaur, when will you mercifully reveal yourself to me in the forest of Godrum, O thief of hearts? You are situated inside Ananda Sukada Kunj with Shri Gadadhar Pandit at your left. With a golden luster and curly hair, you wear the fine dress of a dancer. As I gaze upon you, Shri Radha Madhav will appear and brilliantly illuminate the scene. Accompanied by all their sakis, they will dance with enchanting garlands adorning their necks. Ananga Manjari, feeling compassion, will take this maidservant by the hand and lovingly offer me to the divine couple. I shall then behold their sweetness to the full satisfaction of my eyes. Jai Gaur Gadadhar Ki Jai. Okay, let me make this text bigger. One second, just drinking a bit of water. Ahamo Gaura Kishore Ahamo Gaura Kishore Kabe daya kori Śrī Godrumavane Kabe daya kori Śrī Godrumavane Dekha dibe mana chor Dekha dibe mana chor Ahamor Gaura Kishore Ahamor Gaura Kishora Ayananda Sukhada Kunjera Bhitare Gadadhare Bame Kori Ananda Sukhada Kunjera Bhitare Gadadhare Bame Kori Kanchana Varana Chanchara Chikora Kanchana Varana Chanchara Chikora Natana Suvesha Dhari Natana Suvesha Dhari Ahamor Gaura Kishore Dekhite dekhite Śrī Radha Madhava Rupete Koribe Ala Dekhite dekhite Śrī Radha Madhava Rupete Koribe Ala Sakhi Gana Sange Koribe Natana Sakhi Gana Sange Koribe Natana Galete Mohana Mala Galete Mohana Mala Ananga Manjari Sadaya Hoya Edasi Kare Te Thori Ananga Manjari Sadaya Hoya Edasi Kare Te Thori Duhe Nivedibe Duhara Madhuri Duhe Nivedibe Duhara Madhuri Duhe Nivedibe bonayana pori Hahamor Gora Kishor Hahamor Gora Kishor Kabe daya kore Shri Godrumabane Kabe daya kore Shri Godrumabane Dekha dibe mana chor Dekha dibe mana chor Oh ha ha mo Gora Kishor ha ha mo Gora Kishor Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gaur Gadadhar Jaya Gaur Gadadhar Gaur Gadadhar Jaya Gaur Gadadhar Jaya Gaur Gadadhar Gaur Gadadhar Gaur Gadadhar Jaya Gaur Gadadhar Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Jai Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Hare Krishna Jai Guru Deva Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jai Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol and Kishore just sent this the last verse of Godrum Chandra Bhajan Upadesh. How does it start? Bhaja Gora Gadadara. No. Smara
Mara
Gora
Gaura Garadhara Kedi Kalam Bava Gaura Garadhara Pakshachara Shna Gaura Garadhara Charukutam Bhaja Godra Makanana Kunjavik.
Yes, beautiful. Yes. So remember the pastimes of Gaur and Gadadhar. Become a servant of Gaur and Gadadhar. I don't like that translation. Anyways, listen to the beautiful narrations concerning Gaur and Gadadhar and just worship Gaur, the moon of Godrum's forest bowers. It's not a very perfect translation because they missed out the word Keli, missed out the word Pakshachara. It's like not become a servant. And Shunagora Gadadara. Charukatam. Yeah. Yeah, but yes, such a. Well, I'm getting really excited about going through all of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's kirtans. Wouldn't that be so nice to like just spend a good amount of time with every single kirtan, every single song that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, and just become really familiar with it. And then, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote such a huge range of different types of kirtans, there's like unlimited variety in it, like of different types of kirtans. And so once you start to become familiar with the songs and you have a kind of a basic general idea of everything that he wrote, then you'll have the perfect kirtan to take shelter of at any moment, according to whatever mood you're feeling, whatever harikatha that's going on, whatever any situation that you get into, you'll have like the perfect kirtan. Or if you go in front of Thakurji somewhere, if you go to, there's just like so many, every single, they come up in like all sorts of different circumstances, like the best kirtan, and it's just really nice to, yeah, start to get a little bit familiar with all of them. And so because I got kind of like I was just thinking about that, then I started wondering, okay, when are we going to finish this Caitanya-bhāgavata program so that we can start going through the Bhaktivinoda Thakur kirtans? And so then I think most of you have already seen, I posted it on Facebook and also in our WhatsApp group, this program that I was thinking. But I'll just, even though most of you have already seen it, but just in case you haven't, I'll just show you, where is it? I had it open a little, there it is. Okay, so I made a little pie chart. So this is the word count for Ādi-khaṇḍa has 291,228 words, like that. Madhya-khaṇḍa, that many. And so that, and it took us 70 days to read Ādi-khaṇḍa, which means it will take us 89 days to read Madhya-khaṇḍa and 47 days to read Antya-khaṇḍa. I mean, it took us a lot longer because we read, those are the how many reading days we had. But of course we read, we stopped to read, what is it? Golden Volcano of Divine Love. And then there's all the festival days, and so we didn't read every day. Yeah, so with this program, if we were to read every single day from starting tomorrow, and we never missed a single day, then we would finish on March 5th. But of course, we have so many different festival days, like Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, like Kartik. How many special days are there during Kartik? And then Nityananda Trayodashi. There's going to be the 150th Vyas Puja of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So it'd be nice to have like 3 days of reading for him on that occasion. And so many days. Anyways, so if we give ourselves 20 days for reading on these special tithis, that means that we would finish on Gaur Purnima Day. But I think 20 days might not be enough. And so the next thing that comes after that is Srivas Thakur's appearance day. And that would also be a nice day to conclude Caitanya-bhāgavata, since Srivas Thakur is the grand uncle of Vrindavan Das Thakur. So that'd be 28 days. Otherwise, also we don't need to finish on an auspicious day. It's just, that would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Like we could have like a little festival, online festival. So anyhow, but then once we finish that, then we can, I was thinking we can start going through each songbook of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, like Kalyana Kalpataru, Gitavali, Sharanagati, and Gitamala, and just slowly go through each song. Satya Mataji likes the idea. Great. Cool. Awesome. Just checking. Oh, Haribo, Vidyalala Sadidi, and Sudevi Didi, Dandavat pranams. Okay, so let's do. Oh, and Hare Krishna Shubhanand Prabhu. And Kishore Prabhu, I didn't mention. Okay, so we'll do the Mangala Charan and then start. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaikapitaro Kamalaya Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje. Oh, and just a little note. We're going to be saying these first two verses throughout all of Madhya Ādi, but from this verse onwards, this is our last day of reciting these verses, because we'll do a different set of Mangalacharan verses for Madhya Ādi. So yeah, last time. Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichino Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Do Bhrataro Bhaje Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha Kamalaya Tekshana Varajanu Vilambi Shadbhujo Bahudha Bhakti Rasabhinartaka Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Brityas Tasya Vishvesha Murter Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam Adya Śrī Caitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashesha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambar Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvang Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Shiptashtaka Ditaranga Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Mai Didi. Gaur Haribo. You want to see I'll just quickly show you. This is the Mangalacharan that we'll start doing every day from tomorrow onwards. There it is. Oops. Hey, can I close all these tabs? Yes. Close all tabs. Sorry. I had the colors messed up. Madhya Ādi here. Alright, so this is what we'll be using from tomorrow onwards. We'll do same first five verses will all be the same, because in Madhya Ādi the The first two verses are the same as in Ādi-khaṇḍa. So Ajanu Lambita Puja Karnako and Namastrikala Satyaya. And then all the rest are Bengali Poyar verses. All glories to Vishwambar, the king of Brahmins. All glories to the society of devotees who are dear to Vishwambar. All glories to most sober Gaurachandra, who is the bridge to, I'm not sure if that's the best translation, Dharma Setu, the bridge to religion, who is the Dharma, because Dharma means like our eternal function, our doing our Dharma. Anyways, we'll have to think about that. Then all glories to the most attractive form, which is the embodiment of Sankirtan. And then all glories to the Lord, who is the friend, wealth, and life of Nityananda. All glories to the abode of Gadadhar and Advaita's love. All glories to the Lord, who is most dear to Jagadananda. All glories to the heart and soul of Vakeshwar and Kashishwar. All glories to the Lord of the devotees headed by Srivas. O Lord, please bestow your merciful glance on the living entities. The topics of Madhya-khaṇḍa are just like drops of nectar. Atheism will be vanquished from the heart of anyone who hears these narrations. I have to see if there's a different translation for Pashanda also, because I think it has more meanings than just atheism. Anyways, then, oh dear brothers, please hear attentively the topics of Madhya-khaṇḍa, wherein the inauguration of the Sankir pastimes is described. So, and then we'll end with Tavai Vasmi, Bhakti Avihina, Aparada Lakshai, Panchatattva Mahamantra. So, yeah, that will be our daily Mangalacharan starting tomorrow. And it will go on for few months singing that. So, all right. Oh, yes. But we'll continue doing this, of course. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Will I share this new set of Mangalacharan online? Yeah, I should put all on the Vine of Devotion website, all the resources. I'll do that. Should I do that? Okay. I'm going to put that in my to-do list for today. 1 second. Otherwise, I won't do it. Add Mangalacharan and other things to VOD. There. Okay. Now I'll do it. Ore mura loko shuno Chaitanya manga, Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshaka. Krishna lila bhagavate kohe Vedyas, Chaitanya lila ravyas Vrindavana das. Vrindavana dasa koilo Chaitanya manga, Jahara Shravane Nashe Sarvaya Manga. Chaitanya Nitar Jate Jani Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhante Rasima. Bhagavate Jatta Bhakti Siddhante Sar, Likhiya Chen Iha Jani Koriya Udar. Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashande Javan, Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoit Tatakhan. Manushira Chite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Bhakta Shri Chaitanya. Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar, Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sansar. Narayani Chaitanya Ruchishta Bhajan, Tar Garbe Janmila Shri Dasa Vrindavan. Tar ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan, Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan. Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. And the Gaudiya Bhashya, the commentary of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay. Actually, I think I'll make a Vine of Devotion post also announcing that we're starting Madhya Ādi-khaṇḍa tomorrow, and I'll share everything in that post. So you'll get it. If you're subscribed to a Vine of Devotion mailing list, you'll get it in your inbox. Yeah. All right. If you're not subscribed, you can go to vineofdevotion.com and you'll see it there. Okay. What am I doing? I'm opening up this file. Okay. Let me save this. Ādi-khaṇḍa summaries. All right, so let's go through all the chapters now. Okay, so the first chapter, I'm just going to read the topics of the first 13 chapters, and then we'll read the summaries for the last. I'll read the topics for the first 12 chapters, and then we'll read the summaries for chapters 13 to 17 of Ādi-khaṇḍa. So chapter 1 described first it gave the Mangala Charan, and then is mostly about the glories of Nityananda Prabhu, Baladev Prabhu, Ananta Shesh, and Baladev's Rasa Leela, and all those things. And then that was the first half of the chapter. And then the second half of the chapter was gave a synopsis of all the main Leelas that happen in the Ādi-khaṇḍa, the Madhya Ādi-khaṇḍa, and the Antya Ādi-khaṇḍa. Ādi-khaṇḍa mainly comprises the Lord's scholastic pastimes. Madhya Ādi-khaṇḍa mainly comprises the inauguration of the Sankirtan movement, and the Antya Ādi-khaṇḍa mainly comprises the Lord's distribution, is mainly comprised of the Lord's distribution of the holy names as a sannyasi in Nilachal. And so, yeah, that's the contents of all of Caitanya-bhāgavata. And then chapter 2 is the Lord's appearance. Okay, so this chapter 2 of Ādi-khaṇḍa describes the appearance of the Lord's elders and eternal associates by the desire of the Lord, and also the godless atmosphere of Navadvip, Śrī Advaita Prabhu's worship of Krishna with water and tulsi leaves, the appearance of Śrī Nityananda on the 13th day of the waxing moon, and the prayers offered by the demigods to the Lord in the womb, the appearance of Śrī Gaurachandra on the full moon night of the month of Falgun amidst the congregational chanting of the holy names, and the joyful celebration of the Lord's appearance. That's chapter 2. Then chapter 3 is calculation of the Lord's horoscope, Prabhu Koshti Ganan. This chapter describes the appearance of Sriman Mahaprabhu along with the congregational chanting of the holy names on the pretext of a lunar eclipse, and then the calculation of the child Vishvambar's horoscope by Śrī Nilambar Chakravarti, who is the father of Shachi Devi, and also the celebration of Vishvambar's appearance at the house of Jagannath Mishra, and the glories of the appearance days of Vishnu and the Vaishnavas. Then we come to chapter 3, the name-giving ceremony, that's Nam Karan, the childhood pastimes, Bal Charita, and thieves kidnap the Lord, Chorapaharan. This chapter describes Śrī Gaurahari's childhood pastimes, his crawling as a child, his name-giving ceremony, the kidnapping of Nimai by 2 thieves, and the 2 thieves falling under the influence of Vishnu's illusory energy and returning Nimai to the house of Jagannath Mishra, thinking it to be their own house. And then chapter 5, eating the mendicant Brahmana's offerings. This chapter describes Shachi and Jagannath Mishra's hearing the sound of ankle bells and seeing wonderful footprints inside their house, and Gauragopal's eating the wandering mendicant's food, his offering. Bengali for that, what was it? It was Tarutik Viprana Bhojan. Okay. Then chapter 6. The Lord begins studying and his childhood mischief. So, Prabhu Vidyaramba and Bala Chapalya. This chapter describes the beginning of Nimai's scholastic pastimes, his eating the foodstuffs offered to Vishnu on Akadashi at the house of Jagadish and Hiranya Pandit, and his various mischievous childhood pastimes. Yeah, Nimai was a whole other level of mischievous. I think even more than Krishna. It's pretty wild. Okay, then chapter 7. Shri Vishwarup takes sannyas. This chapter contains descriptions of Vishwarup's acceptance of sannyas and Gaur Hari's acceptance of the mood of Dattatreya and instructing his mother on the absolute truth while sitting on a pile of rejected clay pots. Then chapter 8. The disappearance of Jagannath Mishra. I think it was Jagannath Mishra, what is it? Paralokagaman. This chapter describes Nimai's sacred thread ceremony, his studying at the house of Gangadas Pandit, Jagannath Mishra's dream of Vishwambar's future pastimes as a sannyasi, and the disappearance of Jagannath Mishra. Then chapter 9, Nityananda's childhood pastimes and travels to holy places. Tirtha Jatra. This chapter describes the various dramas related to Sri Krishna, Ram, and Vamana that Srimad Nityananda Prabhu enacted up to his 12th year, and his subsequent travel to the holy places up to the age of 20. Then chapter 10, Marriage with Sri Lakshmi Priya. This chapter describes Sri Vishwambar's scholastic pastimes in the assembly of Gangadas Pandit, his exchange of joking words with Murari Gupta, his marriage with Lakshmi Devi, the daughter of Vallabhacharya, and Shachi Devi's experience of various opulences in her house after the arrival of her daughter-in-law. It's Lakshmi, what is it? Lakshmi Devi Porina, I think it was. Then chapter 11, Meeting with Sri Ishwar Puripad. This chapter describes various subjects like the scholastic pastimes of Nimai Pandit, Mukunda's chanting the names of Krishna in Advaita's assembly, Nimai's sporting pastimes with Mukunda, the godlessness of Nadia, the arrival of Ishwar Puri in Navadvip, his meeting with Advaita Prabhu, his accepting lunch and discussing topics of Krishna at Gaura's house. He teaches his own book Shri Krishna Lilamrita to Shri Gadadhar Pandit, Nimai's comments on that book, and enjoying topics of Krishna with Shri Puripad. And now we come to chapter 12. This is what we left off with yesterday. The Lord's wandering, we read this yesterday. The Lord's wandering throughout Navadvip. This chapter mainly describes Sri Gauranga's wandering the streets of Navadvip, his discussing scriptures on the bank of the Ganga, and his manifestation of various opulences. And now we will read the summaries for chapter 13 onwards till chapter 17, the last section of Ādi-khaṇḍa. And as far as I know, all these summaries that we are reading, they were written during Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time by by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, who is then known as Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari. So Jai Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Hari Bol, Vrinda Didi, and Amit Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Okay. Chapter 13, Defeating Digvijay. This chapter describes Nimai's his victory over and deliverance of the Digvijay Pandit, who had received the favor of Saraswati and who is proud of his knowledge. Okay, summary. When Nimai Pandit was residing in Navadvip as the crest jewel of all teachers, a great Digvijay Pandit, who had received a benediction from Saraswati, arrived there. The Digvijay had already defeated in argument the learned scholars of all provinces, and after hearing that the scholars of Navadvip were famous for their learning throughout India, he proudly arrived in Navadvip in order to defeat the scholars there. Hearing about the arrival of the Digvijay Pandit, the entire scholarly community of Navadvip became most restless and worried. When the students of Nimai Pandit gave him this news, he told them, "The Supreme Lord and Destroyer," Nimai said, "the Supreme Lord and Destroyer of everyone's pride always destroys the pride of arrogant persons. Trees with fruits and persons with good qualities are always humble. Because great Digvijay kings like Haihaya, Nahusha, Vena, Bana, Naraka, and Ravan were excessively intoxicated with pride, the Lord ultimately destroyed their pride. Therefore, the Lord will soon destroy the pride of this Digvijay who has come to Navadvip." After speaking in this way, the Lord sat on the bank of the Ganga that evening and began to contemplate how to conquer this Digvijay. At that time, as the full moon shone in the sky, the Digvijay arrived before the Lord and was informed by the students about the identity of the wonderfully effulgent Nimai Pandit. The Lord first exchanged a few words with the Digvijay and then respectfully and tactfully requested him to describe the glories of the Ganga. Thereupon, the Digvijay began to quickly and incessantly compose and recite verses in glorification of Ganga Devi like the rumbling of hundreds of clouds. Everyone there was struck with wonder on seeing the amazing poetic ability of the great Digvijay. When the Digvijay stopped after incessantly reciting verses for 3 hours, my God, 3 hours, the Lord then requested him to explain the verses. As soon as Digvijay began to explain, the Lord pointed out innumerable faults in Alankar and other literary rules in the beginning, middle, and end of his description. The Digvijay could not reply to any of the Lord's challenges. All of his ingenuity became overshadowed. When, on seeing this, the Lord's students were about to laugh, the Lord checked them and solaced the Digvijay in various ways. He told the Digvijay to go home, take rest, and after studying further, return the next day. Being extremely embarrassed and saddened within, the Digvijay began to think, "I have defeated even the extraordinary scholars of the 6 branches of philosophy, but due to providence, I have finally been defeated by a young, ordinary grammar teacher? How is it possible? It must be that I have committed some offense at the feet of Saraswati Devi." Thinking in this way, he began to chant the Saraswati mantra and soon fell asleep. That very night, Saraswati appeared before the Digvijay Pandit and disclosed to him the real identity of Nimai Pandit. She said, "Nimai Pandit is not an ordinary worldly scholar. He is the omnipotent and original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Saraswati Devi is only a shadow of his internal potency. This Saraswati, who is the shadow of the internal potency of the Lord, is ashamed to stand before Narayan. Therefore, she remains in the background." Devi further told the Digvijay Pandit that he had now actually achieved the fruit of his worship, because he had the good fortune of seeing the Lord of innumerable universes. Then, after instructing the Digvijay to quickly go to the Lord and surrender at his lotus feet, she disappeared. When the Digvijay awoke from his sleep, he immediately went to the Lord and informed him with faltering words of the details of his dream and the instructions of Saraswati Devi. The Lord, who is the master of Saraswati, also instructed Digvijay about the superiority of spiritual knowledge, which is favorable for worshipping the Supreme Lord, and the abomination of material knowledge, which is the source of false pride and domination. The Lord said, "The fruit of cultivating knowledge is to fix the mind at the lotus feet of Krishna and devotion to Vishnu, or spiritual. The fruit of the cultivation of knowledge is to fix the mind at the lotus feet of Krishna, and devotion to Vishnu, or spiritual knowledge, is the only truth and desirable object." After speaking these words of instruction, the Lord particularly forbade Digvijay from revealing to anyone the truths that he had heard from Saraswati, which are confidential to even the Vedas. By the mercy of the Lord, devotion, detachment, and spiritual knowledge simultaneously manifest in the body of Digvijay, and being fully satisfied by achieving pure devotional service, he became Trinadapi Sunicha, more humble than a straw in the street. While describing the nature of Gaura's mercy, the author has written, "Even a most proud person becomes extremely humble by the mercy of Gaura. Even persons who are intoxicated with pride due to material wealth, they give up royal happiness to live in the forest and worship Hari. If the most alluring objects desired by materialistic persons are abundantly available to persons who have received the mercy of the Lord, they can easily abandon them. What to speak of royal happiness? The devotees of Krishna consider even the happiness of liberation as insignificant." When the scholars of Navadvip saw the wonderful prowess of Nimai Pandit and his victory over the Digvijay in this way, they desired to confer on him the title Badi Singha, and thus his matchless glories were declared. Okay, so that was chapter 13. Now we come to chapter 14, the Lord's travel to East Bengal and the disappearance of Lakshmi Priya. I'm just curious what the Bengali was for that. That was... Oops, I'm in the wrong... I'm in Madhya Khanda. Oops, that's why I was getting confused. Okay, so it's Prabhur Bangladesh Vijay or Lakshmi Devir Tirodhan. And the previous chapter we just read was Digvijay Parajay. Now, Prabhur Bangladesh Vijay or Lakshmi Devir Tirodhan. This chapter describes Gaur Narayan's enactment of a householder's pastime of serving guests. It also describes his visits to East Bengal, the offensive activities of some sinful atheists who imitated the Lord, and of a Brahmadaita of Radhadesh, all of them being contemporaries of the author. The disappearance of then it also describes the disappearance of Lakshmi Devi, and the inquiries of Tapan Mishra to the Lord regarding the goal of life and the process for achieving it. And then the Lord's reply and teachings, and then the Lord's return from Bangladesh. Okay, so summary. Nimai Pandit was greatly honored by the wealthy people of Navadvip, as well as by all those who were accustomed to perform religious rituals. In order to establish an ideal example of the principles of household life, the Lord did not encourage the fault of miserliness. Rather, he showed compassion towards the needy and distressed persons. Guests were always properly served at the Lord's house in Sri Mayapur Navadvip. Though the Lord, who is the teacher of people in general, personally displayed the pastimes of a poor householder, he nevertheless constantly endeavored to serve renounced Vaishnav sannyasis. As soon as Mother Shachi noticed a shortage of ingredients required for feeding the sannyasis, Gaurasundar would immediately bring from somewhere the necessary ingredients for the service of the Vaishnavas. Lakshmi Devi engaged in cooking for the service of the Vaishnavas, and the Lord personally sat with the Vaishnav sannyasis and fully satisfied them by feeding them sumptuously. The principal duty of householders is to serve guests. Those householders who do not serve guests are lower than animals and birds. Even if a householder is bereft of wealth due to past karma, he should without duplicity serve his guests with at least some water, a sitting place, and sweet words. Knowing that Sri Lakshmi Narayan had appeared in Navadvip, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Shukadev, Vyasadeva, and Narad visited the Lord's house at Sri Mayapur in the guise of sannyasis. From early morning, Sri Lakshmi Devi continually engaged in various services in the temple room. She arranged the paraphernalia for worshipping the Lord and served Tulsi. She gave more attention to the service of Shachi Devi, her mother-in-law and the mother of her Lord, than to the service of Tulsi. Sachi sometimes saw blazing flames of fire under the feet of her son, and she sometimes smelled the fragrance of lotus flowers throughout her house. After some time, Nimai Pandit went with his students to earn some wealth in Bangladesh, where he stayed on the banks of the Padmavati River. Overwhelmed by the Lord's ingenious scholarship, innumerable students came to study from him, and within a short time mastered various subjects. At this point, the author says that simply because the Lord went to Bangladesh, the young, the old, and the women there are even today intoxicated in Śrī Caitanya's Sankirtan movement. But sometimes, in order to fill their stomachs, some atheists declare themselves to be Narayan, or the Supreme Lord, and thus they ruin the people of that country. In Radhadesh, also there was a great Brahmadaita. There's a great Brahmadaita who externally dressed as a Brahmana, but who internally had the nature of a demon, and he declared himself to be Gopal. Due to his cowardliness, however, people called him a hated jackal. There are no greater offenders than those sinful living entities who want to declare themselves or declare other living entities to be the Supreme Lord instead of declaring Śrī Caitanya, the Lord of innumerable universes, as the Supreme Lord. Moreover, even today it is found that simply by remembering the servants of Śrī Chaitanya Chandra, a living entity attains all auspiciousness. While the Lord was residing in Bangladesh, Sri Lakshmi Devi, being unable to tolerate separation from the Lord, left this world from the bank of the Ganga while meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. When the people of Bangladesh heard that the Lord was returning to Navadvip, they brought various gifts for him. At that time, one pious Brahmin resident of Bangladesh named Tapan Mishra, who was unable to ascertain the goal of life and the process for achieving it, so he was unable to ascertain the sadhya and the sadhan, he received instructions late one night in a dream to approach Narayan in the form of Nimai Pandit, who appeared in the age of Kali to deliver the fallen souls. When Tapan Mishra arrived before the Lord, Sri Gaurasundar instructed him that the only religious process for the age of Kali was Sri Krishna Nam Sankirtan, which awards all perfection and which is to be followed by all people of all countries at all times. He further instructed Tapan Mishra to give up all duplicity and always chant the 16-word, 32-syllable Mahamantra with full attention. When Tapan Mishra asked permission to accompany the Lord ordered him to immediately go to Varanasi and indicated that they would meet again there and elaborately discuss the goal of life and the process to achieve it. When Tapan Mishra then related the topics of his dream, the Lord forbid him from disclosing those topics to anyone. Thereafter, the Lord returned home from Bangladesh with his wealth and offered everything to his mother. Many students accompanied the Lord to Navadvip in order to study from him. Hearing about the disappearance of Lakshmi Devi, the Lord imitated ordinary people by exhibiting grief for a short time, and then instructed his mother about the temporary nature of this material existence. Now we come to chapter 15. Marriage with Sri Vishnupriya. Sri Vishnupriya Parinay. One second, this checking to see if there are any comments. Oops. See. There it is. Okay. This chapter mainly describes the marriage pastimes of Gaur Vishnupriya. Nimai Pandit regularly taught his students in the Chandi Mandap, situated in the courtyard of Mukunda Sanjay. If the Lord, who is the protector of Sanatan Dharma, found any student without tilak on his forehead, he would embarrass him to such an extent that the student would never return to study without tilak ever again. The Lord would say, "The forehead of a brahmana that is not decorated with tilak is as good as a crematorium." This is the injunction of the scriptures. Whenever the Lord saw his students without tilak, he told them that they have certainly not performed their morning rituals. Saying this, the Lord again sent them home. When the students returned after duly marking their bodies with tilak, then they were eligible to study with the Lord. Nimai Pandit joked with and teased everyone. He particularly made fun of the Śrī Hata residents' pronunciation of words. The Lord, however, never laughed or joked with any women. As soon as he saw a woman in the road, he immediately came to the side or gave way. Conjugal activities as exhibited in the pastimes of Krishna Chandra in this world were not displayed during the appearance of Gaur. That is why Mahajans and their followers, who know the science of Gaur Krishna, never address Gaur Sundar as Nadia Nagar, or the amorous hero of Nadia, after the style of Krishna, who is the personification of conjugal mellows. Simply by studying with the Lord for 1 year, the students became expert in scriptural conclusions. Meanwhile, Shachimata, being anxious to marry her son for the second time, she had Kashinath Pandit arrange the marriage of Nimai with the supremely devoted daughter of Raj Pandit Sanatan Mishra of Navadvip. An intelligent aristocrat named Buddhimanta Khan personally agreed to bear the entire expenses of the Lord's marriage. On an auspicious day, at an auspicious time, the festival of Adivas, or the appropriate rituals to be performed the day before the marriage, were performed with great pomp. Riding on a palanquin, the Lord arrived at the house of the Raj Pandit at the auspicious time of dusk. All the Vedic and social rituals were performed, and the marriage pastimes of Vishnupriya and Gaur, who were non-different from Lakshmi Narayan, were completed with great splendor. With a desire to please Lord Vishnu, Sanatan Mishra offered his dearmost daughter in the hands of the Lord, and then also gave various gifts to his son-in-law. The next afternoon, sitting on a palanquin with Vishnupriya Devi, the Lord returned home amidst a continuous shower of flowers and the accompaniment of song, dance, and music. When Lakshmi Narayan were seated inside the house, the entire universe began to glorify them. If a living entity hears the eternal marriage pastimes of Lakshmi Narayan, then he is cleansed of the desire for conjugal happiness that joins together male and female in this material world as enjoyer and the object of enjoyment. At that time, his good intelligence is awakened, and he understands that Lord Narayan alone is the enjoyer of the entire universe. When the Lord mercifully embraced Buddhimanta Khan, the happiness in his heart knew no bounds. Now, chapter 16, second to the last chapter. The glories of Srila Haridas Thakur, Sri Haridas Mahima. This chapter describes the glories of Thakur Sri Haridas, also the godless condition of Navadvip at that time, the meeting of Haridas with Advaita Acharya, the Qazi's complaint against Haridas, the various tortures such as beating with sticks in 22 marketplaces, the astonishment of the Mohammedan king on seeing the opulence of Haridas, the king's instruction to freely perform Krishna Sankirtan, the execution of Haridasa's chanting 300,000 names of Krishna within a cave at Pulia, the description of a great snake who lived in that cave, the imitation of a pseudo-brahmana, and the miserable fate of that so-called brahmana resident of Harinadi, who is an offender at the feet of the Vaishnavas and who is opposed to the loud chanting of the holy names. Okay, so here's a summary. When Sriman Mahaprabhu enacted his pastimes as a householder and a teacher, the entire country was devoid of spiritual practices. Everyone was simply inclined for insignificant, ordinary enjoyment. Even those who studied or taught literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad Bhāgavatam had no respect for Krishna Sankirtan, which is the purport of all scriptures and the life and soul of all education. Since only a few pure devotees chanted the holy names of Krishna together in a solitary place, they became the target of everyone's harassment, teasing, and mischief. The devotees could not find a single sympathetic person to whom they could reveal their mental distress. At such a time, Thakur Haridas arrived at Navadvip. Haridas appeared in the village of Buran. By his mercy, the holy names of Krishna were preached in that area. On the pretext of living on the bank of the Ganga, Haridas first came to Pulia, and then went to the house of Advaita Acharya in Shantipur, where he became intoxicated by chanting the holy names of Krishna in the association of Advaita Acharya. Being maddened with love of Krishna in the form of chanting his holy names, Haridas was, more than anyone, free from the least inclination for things other than Krishna. Seeing his pure transformations of ecstasy, the Brahmin community of Pulia began to show him special respect. At that time, the most sinful Qazi complained against Haridas to the Mohammedan king, that although Haridas was born in a Mohammedan family, he followed and preached the names of the Hindus' god. When men came to take Haridas to the king, he fearlessly accompanied them to his court. The prisoners, considering, if we get darshan of Haridas in the prison house, then our pains of miserable prison life will be vanquished. So considering this, the prisoners humbly and submissively informed the prison guards about their desire to see Haridas Thakur. Sri Haridas also informs the prisoners that their present condition of freedom from material enjoyment was favorable for worshipping Lord Sri Hari, and instructed them to always engage in all conditions in Krishna's service, which is the soul's real independence. When the Mohammedan king asked Haridas why he took to Hindu religion, Haridas Thakur replied that the Supreme Lord is a one non-dual substance, and he belongs to everyone. He is situated in everyone's heart as the director, and the living entity acts in whatever way the Lord inspires him. By the request of the most sinful Qazi, the Mohammedan king advised Haridas to accept his own religion, failing which he would be severely punished. But Haridas replied that even if his body was cut into pieces and his life air left the body, he would never give up his swadharma in the form of chanting the holy names of Hari. In other words, he would never in any condition give up the living entity's constitutional duties. Although by the order of the Qazi, the miscreants mercilessly beat Haridas in 22 marketplaces, no sign of death or any misery was found in the body of Haridas. Seeing this, the sinful followers of the king became very astonished. Haridas was constantly engaged in the ecstasy of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Therefore, like Prahlad, he did not feel any misery in spite of such beating. On the contrary, he felt sorry for the unfortunate miscreants who were committing grave offenses by torturing a Vaishnava. Haridas thus prayed to the Lord to forgive their offenses. Hearing that the sinful followers of the king would be severely punished due to being unable to kill him, Haridas entered into ecstatic meditation and he appeared to be dead. The Qazi considered that if Haridas was buried, he would attain a higher destination. Therefore, he ordered his followers to throw Haridas into the Ganga for his degradation. Since Vishwambar was present in the body of Haridas at that time, in spite of everyone's endeavor, they could not move him even an inch. After being thrown in the Ganga, Haridas floated to the bank. He regained his consciousness and came to the village of Pulya while loudly chanting the holy names of Krishna. Seeing this opulence of Haridas, the Mohammedans considered him a great prophet and began to offer him obeisances. Even the Mohammedan king glorified Haridas and begged him for forgiveness with folded hands, and then gave Haridas permission to chant the holy names of Krishna and freely wander anywhere within his kingdom. When the Brahmanas of Pulya again saw Haridas, they became extremely joyful. Out of humility, Haridas said that only by good fortune had he received a token punishment for his great offense of hearing blasphemy of Lord Vishnu. Haridas then began to chant the holy names 300,000 times a day within a cave on the bank of the Ganga. A fierce poisonous snake lived within that cave. Therefore, no one could remain there for a long time due to feeling a burning sensation from the intense poison. When the snake bite doctors came to know of the snake's presence within the cave, they requested Haridas to leave the place. When, on everyone's request, Haridas consented to leave the cave the following day, the snake came out of his hole and left the cave that very evening. Okay, now next story. One day, in a rich man's house, a snake charmer was glorifying Krishna's pastimes in Kaliya Daha. As soon as Haridas heard the glories of Krishna, he fell unconscious on the ground. Pure ecstatic transformations manifested in his transcendental body. Everyone began to take dust from Haridas's feet and smear it all over their bodies. So everybody began to take Haridas's foot dust and smear it on their bodies. Seeing this, a cheating low-class Brahmin began to display artificial emotions by imitating Haridas in order to attain more prestige. When the snake charmer understood the duplicity of the pseudo-Brahmana, he severely beat him with a stick. Then the Brahmin helplessly left that place. The snake charmer then explained to everyone the authenticity of Haridas and the duplicity of the pseudo-Brahmana. The atheists at that time were opposed to the loud chanting of the holy names. They even considered that as a result of the loud chanting of the holy names, they would face famine and their peaceful lives would be disturbed. When a so-called Brahmana from the village of Harinadi related his concocted views opposed to loud chanting, Haridas established the supremacy and anartha-destroying potency of loud chanting through scriptural reasoning. This atheistic so-called Brahmana did not believe the statements of Haridas that were based on scriptures, and he accepted Haridas as belonging to a particular caste. A few days later, after swearing that he would cut off the nose and ears of Haridas if his words were proven false, the very nose and ears of that fallen Brahmin fell off due to smallpox. Haridas then left for Navadip with a desire to associate with the devotees headed by Śrī Advaita Acharya. And now we come to the last chapter of the Ādi-khaṇḍa, what we left off with. What we read we finished a couple days ago. Chapter 17, the Lord's travel to Gaya. Prabhur Gaya Gaman. This chapter describes Sri Gaurasundar's visit to Gaya via Mandara and Punpun, his meeting with Ishwar Puri at Gaya, his bestowing mercy on Ishwar Puri on the pretext of accepting initiation, his manifestation of himself, his attempts to go to Mathura while being maddened in separation from Krishna, his return home to Navadvip Mayapur after hearing a voice from the sky on the way, and the conclusion of the Ādi-khaṇḍa. During the time when Sri Gaurasundar was enjoying his pastimes in Navadvip as the crest jewel of teachers, the philosophies of the atheists and the smartas were being quickly propagated. Even hearing the name of Bhakti Yoga was rare. The sinful people went on unnecessarily criticizing the Vaishnavas. Considering that the proper time had arrived to manifest himself, Sri Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of going to Gaya for performing worldly fruitive rituals in order to refute the atheistic and smarta philosophies, as well as to bewilder averse persons. In order to bewilder the atheists, the Lord displayed the pastime of being attacked with a fever on his way to Gaya. Thereafter, to exhibit his affection towards his servants and the propensity of water that has washed the feet of the qualified brahmanas, he drank water that had washed the feet of a brahmana and ended his pastime of having a fever. On reaching Pumpun, the Lord performed his pastime of worshipping the forefathers, and then he entered Gaya. He took bath at Brahmakund, and after displaying the pastimes of duly respecting his father in that place, he came to Chakraveda and manifested his pastime of seeing the lotus feet of Gadadhar, or Lord Vishnu. After hearing the glories of the lotus feet of Gadadhar from the resident brahmanas, the Lord became decorated with pure ecstatic transformations, and thus he inaugurated his pastimes of manifesting loving devotional service. By providence, the Lord met Ishwar Puri there. Sri Mahaprabhu revealed to Sri Ishwar Puri that the perfection of visiting Gaya is to meet pure devotees. Mahaprabhu revealed that. I'm getting too comfortable. So Mahaprabhu revealed to Sri Ishwar Puri that the perfection of visiting Gaya is to meet pure devotees like Sri Ishwar Puri, that seeing Vaishnavas is matchlessly greater than worshipping and offering oblations to the forefathers at Gaya, and that his purpose of traveling to Gaya was to permanently surrender at the lotus feet of a Mahabhagavat spiritual master. Without disturbing the foolish, ill-motivated fruitive workers who are bewildered by the three modes of material nature, to teach them that until one receives initiation into Krishna mantras from a bona fide spiritual master, he is eligible only for performing fruitive activities, and to simultaneously bewilder the atheists. In order to do all this, Sri Gaurasundar exhibited the pastimes of offering various oblations to the forefathers at Gaya, according to worldly customs. Thereafter, he returned to his room and began to personally cook. At that time, Shripad Ishwar Puri arrived there, overwhelmed with love of Krishna. The Lord personally served all the foodstuffs that he had cooked for himself to Sri Ishwar Puripad, and by directly serving his spiritual master, Puripad with his own hands, he displayed the ideal example of serving the spiritual master. On another day, in a solitary place, Mahaprabhu offered obeisances to Ishwar Puri and requested him for mantra initiation. Then the Lord received the 10-syllable mantra from his spiritual master and surrendered everything unto his lotus feet. In this way, Sri Gaur Narayan Prabhu, the spiritual master of the entire universe, instructed people who were desirous of love of Godhead, in order to reveal that only a person who has fully surrendered at the lotus feet of his spiritual master and who is endowed with transcendental knowledge, only that person is qualified to achieve the loving devotional service as a result of service to the spiritual master. In order to reveal, I kind of fell asleep. So, in order to reveal that only somebody who's surrendered to their guru and who is endowed with knowledge is qualified to achieving the devotional, he is qualified to achieve prem bhakti. as a result of service to his guru. So in order to teach this, Mahaprabhu, after receiving initiation from Ishwar Puripad, became overwhelmed with separation from Krishna, and he loudly cried out, "Krishna, Krishna," and thus exhibited his pastime of being most restless. "I will not enter into family life. Rather, I will go to Mathura and search in search of Krishna, who has stolen my heart." Saying this, the Lord instructed his students who had accompanied him to Gaya to return to Navadvip. Being greatly overwhelmed by separation from Krishna, the Lord departed towards Mathura in the early morning without informing anyone, while addressing Krishna, "Oh dear Krishna, oh dear child, where will I go? Where will I meet Murali Vadam?" After walking a little distance, the Lord heard a voice from the sky saying that the time had not yet arrived for the Lord to visit Mathura. The Lord should distribute loving devotional service in Navadvip for some time. Hearing this voice from the sky, Gaurasundar stopped his journey and he returned to his residence at Gaya, where he took permission from Sri Ishwar Puripad and then returned to Sri Navadvip with his students. In this way, the author has concluded that the topics of he has concluded the topics of Ādi-khaṇḍa. The author, as a servant of Nityananda, discloses that his attempt of writing the biography of Śrī Caitanya is simply due to the order of Śrī Nityananda. After personally revealing his attachment for serving his spiritual master, Śrī Nityananda, he humbly invites all living entities to accept subordination at the lotus feet of Śrī Nityananda Prabhu and Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Haribol. All right, what time is it? It is 8:21. Okay, so we can do a little kirtan and then Jaidvani, and if anybody has anything to share from anything in this Ādi-khaṇḍa, anything that stood out to them, any thoughts, whatever, then you'll have time to do that. Kishore said it's perfect for doing another bhajan, a perfect amount of time for doing another bhajan. Sure, we can do another. Do you have any suggestions, Kishore, or should I just pick something myself? Okay, I'm going to just pick something myself. Let's see. I always get tired towards the end of the reading. Okay.
Abe Gauravane?
Yeah. That's also kind of in the same line as the two previous kirtans that we did, Haha Mor Gora Kishore and Haha Kabe Gora Nitai. It's like starting with Gaur Lila and then entering in Navadvip. Sorry, starting in Navadvip and then all of a sudden finding yourself in Vrindavan. So that's a really good combination, those three kirtans. Okay. Oh, when, giving up all bodily pleasures, will I wander under various trees and vines on the bank of the Suradhuni, the Ganga, and Gauravan, Sri Navadvip Dham, weeping and calling out, "Ha Radhe, Ha Krishna." I shall eat by begging from the homes of the untouchables, and drink water from the Saraswati river. I shall roll on the ground on the river's bank, loudly calling out Sri Krishna's names. Offering my obeisances to all the Dhamvasis, I shall beg a drop of mercy from them. Smearing the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas upon my body, I shall don the cloth of an avadut. I shall see no distinction between the residents of Gauda and those of Braj, and I will thus become a true Brajvasi myself. The transcendental form of the Dham will appear to my vision, and I shall become a maidservant of Sri Radha. All right. So I'm not gonna do lead and response with this. We'll just sing it through, because I actually have to go to Godrum very soon after we finish the reading. Yeah, I have to quickly take breakfast and then take off. There's a program at Suvarna Vihar. It's supposed to be in Godrum by 10 o'clock. It's 8:30 now, so yeah, I don't have very much time. Hakabe goravane suradhuni tate hara deha Krishna bole kandiya bedavo teha sukha chari nanal lata tarutale swapacha grihete magiya khaibo pibo sara swatirja puline kada kadi dibo kori Krishna kola holo dhamavasi jane pranati koriya magibo kripara lesha Vaishnava charana renukai maki dhari avadhuta vesha dhari avadhuta vesha Gaura vraja jane vedana dekhibo hoibo varajavasi Gaura vraja jane vedana dekhibo hoibo varajavasi Dhamera swarup Spuri benayane Dhamera swarup Spuri benayane Hoibo radhara dasi Hoibo radhara dasi Dhamera swarup Spuri benayane Hoibo radhara dasi Hoibo radhara dasi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Navadvipa Jaya Mayapura Navadvipa Jaya Mayapura Jaya Navadvipa जय मायापुर जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय राधे जय कृष्ण निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल. All right, so that's the end of our 3 days of reading the summary of the Ādi-khaṇḍa, and tomorrow we will begin the Madhya-khaṇḍa. So hopefully you'll all be able to join for that. And yeah. All right, Kishore, would you like to do the Jayadvani?
जय सुप्रकार श्री श्री गुरु गौरंग गण हरिता गिरिधरि रार विनोद बिहरि रार नायनाथ राधरमन बिहरि रार मार्व श्री श्री महाप्रभु राधा गोकुलानंद जी की जय. जय श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार परमहंस प्रिय ब्रजचार्य वर्य अष्टोत्तरष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति विज्ञान शिल भारती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार परमहंस प्रिय ब्रजचार्य वर्य अष्टोत्तरष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति वेदांत शल नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज पति पावन गुरुदेव की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार अष्टोत्तरष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति बल तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति वेदांत विक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति वेदांत शल वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. शिष्यमान भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति द्वैत माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रष्ट शिष्यमान भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज परम गुरुदेव आचार्य केशरी की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रष्ट शिष्यमान जगत गुरु श्री वृषभानाभि दैतदास शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार परमहंस महाभगवत प्रभार शिष्यमार गौर किशोर दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार सप्तम गोस्वामी अष्टोत्तरष्ट शिष्यमात सचिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय. जय नित्य लील प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार वैष्णव सर्वभौम अष्टोत्तरष्ट शिष्यमात जगन्नाथ बाबूजी महाराज की जय. सूर्य कुंदवासी सिद्ध शिल मधुसूदन दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय. श्री उर्वदास उदरान दास की जय. गुरुविदान आचार्य शिष्यमार बलदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय. महामहोपध्याय रसिक शिरोमणि शिल विष्णु चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय. शिल रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय. श्री रामचंद्र कविराज की जय. श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय. शिल नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर महाशय श्रीनिवासाचार्य श्यामानंद पंडित प्रभुतराय की जय. श्रील कृष्णदास कुबराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय. यशवतार अर्का विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय. श्री अष्टक विराज विसुर जानव नित्यानंद तुरस गोपाल श्री चौषधि महंत की जय. जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय. श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रय रमानंद लोकनाथ भूगर्भ आदि गौर परिषद वृंद की जय. नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय. श्रील ईश्वरपुरी गोस्वामी पार की जाय. श्रील मारविंद्रपुरी गोस्वामी पार की जाय. श्री अंतरद्वीप मायापुर सिमनद्वीप गौतमद्वीप मध्यद्वीप कुलद्वीप ऋतुद्वीप जानद्वीप मातृ द्रुमाद्वीप रुद्रद्वीप मात्मका श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जाय. श्री एक चक्र धाम की जाय. श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जाय. श्री भगवान गोद्रुम चंद्र गौर चंद्र की जाय. श्री श्री गौर गराधर की जाय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपा गौ गिरि गोवर्धन वर्षद वनात्मा कृषि ब्रज मंडल धाम की जाय. श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सखी आमन सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जाय. वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जाय. Jai Sri Lalita Vishaka Chitra Champakalata Tungavidya Induleka Rangadevi Sudevi Adi Sakhi Vrind ki jai. Sri Ananga Prema Manjalali Shri Rupalavanga Raghavilasa Guna Rati Kasturi Kamala Nayanamani Adi Manjari Vrind ki jai. श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमास युगमाय देवी की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर श्री शिमा देव की जय। श्री राधा परनकित राम श्री वृंदावन की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमारव जू की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। सर्वा विघ्नाविनाशन करि भक्त विघ्नाविनाश श्री नरसिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर शिवलाल महाराज की जय। शिवलाल लक्ष्मी नरसिंह की जय। श्री चरिराम चरि संप्रदाय चरि चारि की जय। श्री मध्वा रमनुज विष्णु स्वामी नंबदित्य चरि चारि की जय। आकर्मतरा श्री चैतन्य मान की जय। श्री गौरी मान वृंद की जय। ग्रंथरा श्रीमान भगवताम भगवदगीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत जैव धर्म आदि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री भुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। श्री भुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। श्री भुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तर्क ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंद गुरु वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समकट गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री चैतन्य भगवत की जय। श्री चैतन्य भगवत आदिखंड की जय। श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय। श्री सचिदानंद गौर हरि की जय। भरी सिंह श्रीनिमाय पंडित की जय। श्रीमान नित्यानंद राम महाजान की जय। श्री केशवाचार्य की जय। श्री तपन मिश्र की जय। श्री मुकुंद संजय की जय। श्री कशिशनाथ पंडित की जय। श्री बुरीमंत कान की जय। Shri Ananta Shesh ki jai. The snake charmer that was possessed by Shri Ananta Shesh ki jai. Shri Gayasur ki jai. Mahamahobadeshak Pratnavindi Alankar Shishimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai. All devotees watching on Facebook, Zoom, and YouTube ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. An upcoming Caitanya-bhāgavata Ādi-khaṇḍa ki jai.
Jai! Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Keshavasacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Hare Krishna. Nari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Satya Mataji, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Hari Bol. And let's see. One second. Okay. There's Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Sudevi Didi, Krishnamai Didi, Vrinda Didi, and Amit Krishna Prabhu, and all the other devotees. Dandavat pranams. I look forward to starting this Madhya Khanda with all of you tomorrow. So, yeah, if anybody has any last things that they want to say before I end the stream, now's the time.
In the beginning of in the first chapter summary that we were reading, where Prabhupada or Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj was talking about all the different envious kings that became like
Yes,
toxic.
Nahusha.
Yeah, Nahusha and all of them.
Yeah.
It reminded me of my Guru Maharaj when he was talking about them once, and he was saying that all these kings, they became like intoxicated with wealth. When they got like lots of wealth, they became like very greedy, intoxicated, and degraded. And then my Guru Maharaj said, but we see that Srila Swami Maharaj, even though he got so much wealth, he never became like that. He always remained humble. And he engaged all that wealth in Krishna's service and in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, that's a really great topic. There's a lot to say on that. Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj writes a lot on this topic. Also, there's a story from Param Gurudev's biography about what is it? I think it was Nrsinga Maharaj. I think that was I forgot which sannyasi it was, but when he gave the money, but he didn't give all the money. But yeah, it really takes, only a pure devotee can really completely digest all this money coming from all different kinds of places, you know, and be able to not get affected by it. But for ordinary living entities, I mean, yeah, it can change a person. It will make a good person become, yeah, it gets to people's heads.
It really shows you how genuine Srila Prabhupada is, that he had so much wealth and he engaged only in Krishna consciousness. I think I heard it was like something like 33 million in the bank, something like that.
Yeah, and then get people like my dad who had all these shady things going on with the whole
Let's not talk about that.
no, but I'm like, but there's lots of money, like lots and lots and lots of money. I think more than that, and different places. Yeah. So, yeah.
And then you can see, and then like there were other gurus at that time, and that were preaching like Mayavad, and they lived in like a luxury apartments.
Yeah, and you see Srila Prabhupada, the most money out of anybody, and how simply he lived. Just his room in Kolkata is like, it's just super simple, very beautiful, and yeah,
How is his room in Kolkata?
Yeah, very beautiful.
Very beautiful and simple.
Very simple, nice. Very beautiful, very, yeah. That's always the nicest thing to, like, Srila Prabhupada's, actually, Vaijanti Mala Mataji, she once, she said, like, one place that her Harinam was just, like, amazing was, if you go to Srila Prabhupada's room in Vrindavan, and sometimes she just go there, like, from where she was, just to sit and chant, and it's, like, really an amazing atmosphere. And I noticed that, like, for, like, I tried it one time, and then now whenever I'm around Srila Prabhupada's room, I always find like that's like a very special place to just sit and chant, and like it's really powerful. Yeah, so then I went there recently with my brother. Yeah.
Nice. I think Mukund Dot Prabhu, I don't know if he's still doing it, but he used to do that a lot. He'd just be there in Prabhupada's rooms and chanting all his rounds. And then and then I guess he would go and worship Radha Shamsundar. I don't know.
No, it's really special, really special.
I remember Prabhupada was like asked about like one of these gurus once, and Prabhupada was being asked, it was an interview, and it's like, what do you think of this guru? He's saying that you should not go after all these gurus. You should like go and see your guru within, and be inspired by your own teacher inside. And Prabhupada said, so why has he come to teach? Why is he here? What is he coming here for?
Yeah.
And then somebody told Prabhupada, that guy has also written a book on why you should not read books. And Prabhupada said, see, he is cheating.
Yes.
So you're going to Godrum?
Yes, I'm going to Godrum. Suvarna Vihar Gaudiya-math. There's going to be a program there. It's starting soon. I actually have to quickly eat and take off now. So.
Gotcha. It's disappearance or appearance of one of the acharyas
not
there?
Not any special occasion. Like, I think maybe somebody gave a donation to feed the Vaishnavas or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's any special day. Every now and then there's festivals like that in different places. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, Jai Śrī Radhe. See you all tomorrow. Haribo, Satya Mataji, Indri Haribu, Kishore Prabhu, Bhavatarini Mataji. See you all tomorrow. Haribo.
Dandavat pranams to all.
Dandavat pranams.